I mean, what was the biggest piece that you had to get out of there by yourself? I mean, his torso? I mean...
The torso part.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Tell me about it.
Well, all right. Head, arms, legs, came off no problem.
All right.
This is 32-year-old Rose Chase. Back in 2012, Rose's husband Adam suddenly went missing. Rose claimed that her husband had left her and he didn't want to be found. The police searched Rose's home and they found no reason to suspect foul play, so Adam was treated as a missing person. 6 months later, Adam's family hired a private investigator who was able to convince Rose to tell him what had happened to her husband. After Rose confessed to the investigator, she called the police and showed them where they could find Adam's dismembered body. Once his body was recovered, Rose was put into an interrogation room. The police wanted to hear Rose tell them the shocking details of how she murdered and disposed of her husband's body after he caught her having an affair with another man.
I know you've talked to John here quite a bit. You've been down to your mom's house and you kind of showed him what was going on down there. How about, when you were taking him out of the house, did you cut him up or anything? Did you need any tools or anything? Or
No.
Because if you did, where would those be?
He just fell apart.
Okay. All right. How long had he been there?
He'd been there about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. So when we were in there the night that we came over, me and Investigator Durgan,
Yes.
where in the basement was he?
The part that I told you the light wouldn't work. I had skids along the wall, and he was underneath all this stuff that was in that corner.
Okay. All right. How'd you get in there?
I dragged him.
By yourself?
Mm-hmm.
And he's a pretty big guy. And, you know, when somebody can't move, it's hard to move them.
It was very difficult.
Okay.
I will admit it was difficult.
Okay. Now, to back up a little bit, what precipitated all this? I mean, obviously, you know, his boss talked to him early that morning, 9:30, right? The day that he called into work, is that when this happened?
Yes.
Okay. Well, what happened?
Him and I called into work so this way we could work things out.
Okay.
He went back to sleep after he called up his boss.
Okay.
I tried waking him up. It took me a while, but he finally got up. He went upstairs to grab a smoke. Then he started to go on the computer, and I thought we were going to talk about this. Started arguing again about the fact that Mark kissed me. And I go, yes, it was only a kiss. And he goes, well, you told me last night that we're going to get a DNA test done on Tristan. I told him then, no need, Tristan's not yours. He got furious, punched the wall.
Okay, and that was the hole that we saw, right?
I went to grab him. He did push me away. I went to grab him again, and I don't know if he tried to push me away again or if I tried to grabbed him wrong, but his foot caught the stairs and he tumbled down the stairs.
Okay.
The straight stairs, not the ones that wrap around, the straight stairs.
Which one? The ones in the front of the house, or
the back.
ones that you'd be going through the living room?
Yes.
Okay.
No. It would have been the family room at the time. The stairs right next to the bathroom.
Okay, because how many stairwells are in the house?
There's two.
Two.
That lead upstairs.
Okay, and there's one that would be in the front going towards the road, right?
Right.
And then you're talking about the other one. That
Right,
would be when you walk in the side entrance of your house, that they would be in that room going up.
Correct.
Okay. And then what happened?
When I saw him there, I paused. I go, Adam, you? Okay? Hesitated, shook him a little bit. Waited a few more minutes. Still wasn't moving. I shook him again. Still wasn't moving. Looked to see if he had a pulse. I didn't really feel...
Where'd you check?
I checked his first.
Okay. Did you check his neck at all? To see if he had one there?
No.
Okay. All right, keep going.
Then I just waited a few more minutes, and then he started to wet himself.
Okay.
I panicked. I didn't know if any of the neighbors heard anything. I really panicked, dragged him. It was a struggle, but I dragged him.
Was he moving at all? Was he fighting back at all?
No.
Any muscle movement at all? How long from the time that he fell down the stairs till you moved him, do you figure?
About 5 minutes.
Okay.
He wasn't moving at all.
Okay.
But he started wetting himself after, it was about 5 minutes?
It's about 5 minutes afterwards.
He started wetting himself. Did you think that was any indication of he could have still been alive, or?
I don't know.
Did you maybe, when you started doing that, you kind of thought, did you shake him again, Brian, or Adam? Or you just assumed it was, he was still dead?
After he let himself, I assumed he was dead. The following day, I got Tristan on the bus.
Okay.
And went to the bank. Sylvia called me and said that she talked to the sheriff, that he wanted to talk to me. So I went back to the house in a panic. Saw Adam just laying there, and I didn't want the sheriff to see him there because I knew he would arrest me right on the spot. So that little corner cut out of the wall, I thought about putting him in there. I went in there, checked it out, was going to put him in an area in the dirt. But when I went to move him, I couldn't really lift him that far. So I was still panicking. So I actually dragged him by his feet into the lower part of the basement. Got him so this way he was cross-legged like this, and I struggled to get him into this position.
Okay.
And that's when I put the tarp. That's when I put everything on top of it.
Anything more than a tarp? I mean, plastic?
No, it was my son's kiddie pool that he was virtually over top of him. I had all the skids of stuff surrounding him. Then I put long pieces of board over top of it, and I made it look like a table.
Okay.
Despite the fact that Rose initially lied to the police, dismembered and cremated Adam's body, and then used his phone to message his family as if he was still alive, Rose still claims that Adam's death was an accident. According to Rose, Adam was standing on the edge of the basement stairs, and he lost his footing and fell down the flight of stairs. If it was all an accident, then why go as far as she did to cover it up?
I guess what I'm having trouble with is if this was him falling down the stairs, why do we go through all this? I mean, what do we go through all this for? Help me figure this out, because...
At first, I thought everyone was going to think it was a murder. That I offed him on purpose. And then when after I hid the body, and the dogs came in, I thought I got pretty lucky. I was going to turn myself in several times. But the thing that kept shying me away from turning myself in was how his family acted.
What do you mean by that?
As in, what they were doing was, pissing me off. How about they were, saying that I did all this stuff without physical evidence, and it really pissed me off, and I just wanted...
So this drags on mostly because of their treatment of you after this happens?
Correct.
Is that, okay, all right.
Mr. Beck, why would you think that we would think you murdered him? I mean, we were talking about it in the car. I mean, you tried to grab him. He fell down the stairs. I mean, you saw him at the bottom of the stairs. Normally people would call 911 and try to get him some help. And there's nobody else there that saw this argument, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so do you think that maybe you pushed him? It's a natural reflex. I wouldn't blame you if you did. If somebody's shoving me, my natural reflex is to shove him back. You didn't do it on purpose.
I don't remember pushing. I remember grabbing his arm, but I don't remember pushing him in that direction.
But I mean, did you grab him to pull him towards you? I mean, why did you grab his arm?
I just grabbed him to get his attention.
Okay.
But
and he went to and he shoved you.
Yeah. Then I went to grab him again to get his attention again, and that's when.
So after he shoved you, did he turn around and start to go back down the stairs again?
Yes. Because he shoved me right about in this location. Then he walked right about here. I grab him again, and his foot catches pretty much where it goes into the steps.
So at that point, you weren't sure what exactly happened. If you grabbed and pushed him or anything like that, that's why you were worried that we might think you murdered him.
Correct.
Or, just throwing this out there, if he makes it, does he tell us something different about what happened up there?
I don't think he would have told you anything different. Only thing...
Well, here's what we're trying to figure out, Rose. This is the part that's confusing to all of us. If this is truly an accident, if you two are squabbling at the top of the stairs, he slips, falls, breaks his neck, whatever happened to him. Well, hang on, the first natural reaction from anybody, I don't care if it's your mortal enemy, is going to be to try to get this guy for some help. The thing that I keep hearing is that you're going to turn yourself in, that, if the first deputy that shows up saw him, you were going to get arrested. If this was an accident, and none of that happens that way, that just tells me that if Adam doesn't perish from his injuries, that maybe he tells us a different story about what happened on that stairwell.
What I was afraid of, if Adam didn't perish on that stairwell, was that the truth about Tristan's DNA was going to come out. It came out anyway, but the first thing that was going through my head was, okay, Adam died. I wanted to keep Tristan in a loving family as long as I could. His parents were great grandparents.
When they ask Rose why she didn't call 911 to help Adam, she claims that one of the reasons was because she didn't want Adam's family to find out that he wasn't the biological father of their son. Rose had a history of cheating on her husband. She would eventually become pregnant by another man, and even though Adam requested a DNA test, he would never know the child wasn't his until a few seconds before he died.
And it is an awful lot that you're telling us in the 5 minutes while you're trying to help Adam. This is all going through your mind. This is all playing out. Because look, I can understand all day long that you two, when he found out, I mean, this isn't the first time that you were having an affair on him, right?
Correct.
I mean, we've discussed this before at length. This isn't the first time, and it's not the first time that he caught you, is it? I mean, what makes this time different? What makes this time different that the argument's different than it was any other time?
This argument was more intense. because I was actually coming forward. All the other arguments I denied.
Okay. Well, I mean, you kind of had to come forward. They had pictures of it, right? I mean, they had a picture of it, and they showed Adam. So, and, you know, I'm sure he had his suspicions.
But when they first showed Adam the picture, I told him it's just me on the park bench talking, because that's, to me, what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to convince Adam otherwise, but...
Well, I mean, when you get in a situation like that, that's the normal reaction for people, that they deny it. That's just a natural reaction. So.
But I think even though I was nudging him to make sure that he was okay, another thought popped in my head. The fact that he reported Tristan behind my back, he asked Tristan some questions.
Mm-hmm.
Behind my back when I went to...
What did he ask him? What was he asking Tristan?
He was asking Tristan... He was asking him about Mark.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did Mark kiss Mommy? Did Mark ever come to the house?
Mm-hmm.
How many times did you see Mommy and Mark together?
So that pissed you off? Obviously.
That pissed me off because I didn't think it was right for him to bring Tristan.
And it's probably not right for him to bring your son into it, okay? It's between two adults, you shouldn't involve the little kids. So you're sitting there, you're seeing him on the ground, you're thinking, screw him, I'm not getting him help. Right? Screw him. He screwed me too many times, he's bringing our son into this whole mess, it's going to be a hell of a lot easier if he just dies right there. Then if I get him help, he lives, then we got to go through all this fighting again. And custody and all that, right?
I think that's pretty much what was going through my head.
Okay.
But...
So you wanted him dead. At that point, you wanted him dead.
I thought I was better off with him dead.
I mean, let's be perfectly honest. We have your tower computer.
Yeah,
I
still have it.
And I found emails in there from 3-4 years ago that you're talking to other men saying that I'm married technically, but we don't really have anything to do with each other. I mean, I'm sure in your mind it was over long ago.
And part of it, back then it was true. We barely talked to each other, and then I didn't realize Adam put a key logger in. So he was typing or seeing what I was talking.
Right. Well, because he was probably suspicious of what was going on, and
but that person that I was typing with, I never did anything with that person. Right.
I mean, in your mind, you were done. You guys were done, and like John said,
this was the easiest way to deal with it. So if you just died.
No divorce, no money for the divorce. You're his next of kin. You get to keep everything, and that's that. And then hopefully this issue with Tristan never comes to light. And that's basically long and short of it, right?
Pretty much what was going through my head.
Rose was able to recall what happened prior to Adam falling down the stairs. And later in this video, she will recall the shocking thing she did to the body after he was dead. The only issue Rose has is the accident itself, which she claims is a little fuzzy.
It just seems odd to me that you would remember everything so well before and after, but what actually happened in that moment, you're having trouble with. That's not how the mind works. It's just not how it works. I mean, if you're afraid to say something, don't be afraid to say anything. We've talked on several occasions, and I realize that you have just started talking to John here tonight, but he works with me. He's as versed on everything that's gone on here as I am, and I mean, if it was the heat of the moment and you thought enough was enough and you pushed him, you pushed him. It's what it is.
It's a natural reaction. I mean, like I said, if somebody's pushing me, I'm pushing them back.
But when I grabbed his arm, when he went to let me go again, I don't know if I actually did push him intentionally or if I know his foot caught the stair and he fell down, but I don't know if I actually gave him that extra oomph.
Let's think about it. You weren't grabbing him to pull him towards you.
I was just trying to get his attention.
Okay, but that can easily take a swat or something, right? But you weren't grabbing him to pull him towards you, obviously. You
Correct.
weren't trying to get closer to him, to give him a hug or a kiss or anything,
No.
okay?
But I wasn't pushing him away from me either. I just
Well,
grabbed him.
what John's trying to say is that this is right after he swats your arm away. I mean, it's a natural reaction. If somebody swats at me, I'm getting distance too. It's how your body's programmed. It's what you do, you know?
Honestly, this detail isn't going to really make that much of a difference as to what happened. The fact is, he was at the bottom of the stairs. He probably could have been helped. He wasn't. He died. Okay, so this little shove and push, it doesn't matter, really. But we need you to be truthful and honest, because people want to hear your story, and people are going to either believe you or not believe you. And if they don't believe you, they're going to think everything else you're telling us is not true, that maybe you premeditated this whole thing. And we don't want...
Okay.
Go ahead.
Actually, the detective is lying to Rose because whether or not she pushed him down the stairs is the most important part of this case. It's the difference between whether or not Rose will be charged with murder.
Can one of you stand up for a second?
Sure. I'm closer. I'll
Okay. Top of the stairs.
Okay.
Okay. I grabbed your arm.
Go ahead. Yeah.
And he went to push me away again.
Okay.
And this time, I blocked him.
Okay.
Was right there at the stairs.
So
Yeah,
you hit him?
I didn't hit him hard.
Okay.
But my hand brushed against his face.
Okay.
Down.
Did you fall down the stairs too?
No.
Okay.
Because I grabbed the guardrail.
Okay. All right.
And I just watched him fall. I don't know how many times he...
So there was enough momentum as you were swatting at him. There was enough momentum where you almost went down the stairs too. Is that?
But
you grabbed the guardrail. He obviously didn't have a chance to grab the guardrail.
No.
He was off balance. I mean, if he got hit up here in the head, it probably disoriented his balance just enough where he couldn't regain it. You know.
And he fell to his side. Tumbled down the stairs.
Was he bleeding? Was he bleeding at all? Any blood?
No. No, there was no blood because I didn't clean up any blood. I cleaned up urine, but I did not clean up any blood.
Okay.
Natural reaction is a shove. That's not a premeditated murder. That's a in-the-moment type thing, heated argument. He's touching me, I don't want him grabbing me. I'm giving him a shove. And actually falls down the stairs. But not to kill him. It's showing him that, you don't touch me. Don't screw with me. I'm pissed off at you. You are using our son against me. You shouldn't be involved.
That's what was going through my head after he was down at the bottom of the stairs was...
But these are just all emotions in you to get you enough anger to shove him back when he shoves you.
Yeah.
Well, because you're more angry during this argument than you've ever been with him before. I mean, that's right? I mean, maybe any other time, everybody has disagreements, but, this was different. This one was different. And like John says, we're not, how this thing is going to play out is she has, you and Mark had been together. It was, obviously at this point it was well known. Certainly it was probably more than just kissing. I think we've had that discussion before too.
Now it's more than kissing.
Right. But...
Sorry.
And again, this wasn't the first go-round for you two having a problem like this. The difference is this time, now you have Tristan. Now he's also using Tristan as an investigative tool to figure out what's going on. The key logger wasn't bad enough. Have an identical phone to yours wasn't enough. Now he's involving your son, because it's not Adam's son, you know that. He's involving your son in this mess, and this is it. You've had enough. Anybody can see how that happens. We're pretty much to the point.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But in the
At
same
At the
note,
beginning of that day, it was trying to cover my ass.
well, because you've gotten away with it before, right? I mean, you were able to deny your way out of this kind of stuff before,
Correct.
so,
This time I did, I was trying to cover my ass, but then I came out. I think subconsciously I did want to push him.
Okay, so did you?
I'm going to have to say yes.
Okay.
I went to grab his arm. He went to take me away again. And with that hit on the head, it was more disorient once I seen that he lost his footing, so this way he didn't grab the railing down the stairs.
Where'd you push him? Once you saw that was he trying to grab for the railing?
I still had a hold of his arm at the time,
Okay.
and it was just a final,
But you knew he was falling, so
Yeah.
you gave a final shove because you wanted him to fall down those stairs,
yeah.
because you were pissed. Okay,
But
now we can move on.
Rose finally confesses that she did in fact push Adam down the stairs with the intention of hurting him. Now that they have her confession, they can officially charge her with second-degree murder. What she did to the body afterwards is just icing on the cake for the detectives.
when he urinated himself, I was like, what went through my head was, oh shit.
He could still be alive. If I get him help, he's gonna tell what happened.
But he wasn't moving. He wasn't making any noise. He wasn't doing anything. He just let himself. I said, oh shit. I'm here pulling out my hair and everything, looking out the window, making sure that nobody is on my porch looking in and seeing all this.
You're not a doctor. I don't know if you urinate yourself after you're dead or not. My assumption is maybe not. But you certainly didn't know, and you thought that it probably was that he was maybe still alive. So what did you do then, after that?
After that,
Yeah.
I grabbed him. Still wasn't moving, wasn't making a noise. Grabbed his pulse. Grabbed a bag out from the kitchen. Wiggled the bag underneath him. Still wasn't doing anything. Got him on that bag. I mean, it was one of those heavy-duty cars, almost like what you use for lining of a waterbed.
Okay. Big, thick, heavy.
Yeah. That made it a little bit easier to drag him into. After I got him to the stairwell in the right in front of the basement, still wasn't moving anything. He didn't do anything. I actually cleared all those doors and stuff out of the stairwell, giving myself some more room. Grabbed him. He's still not moving. Got him right there. He's right there on the platform, and I gave him another shove into the basement. I couldn't carry him. I just let gravity.
Just let him slide down the stairs.
Let gravity do its work.
Did he tumble there? Or
He
did he
tumbled
slide?
there. He hit his head. He hit his head there.
Rose claims that there are 2 flights of stairs leading to the basement, and after she pushed Adam down the first flight, she pushed him down the second as well. The detectives will now listen as Rose tells them the shocking story of how she disposed of the body.
And it was your car that you were taking him down to your mom's house in?
Correct.
His car used at all
No.
for any of it? Okay.
No, I just moved it.
What were you using, blankets, rugs? What were you rolling them up in? I mean, what was the biggest piece that you had to get out of there by yourself? I mean, his torso? I mean,
The torso part.
Okay.
Oh, God. And
tell me about it.
well, all right. Head, arms, legs, came off no problem.
All right. Now, came off, you mean they just kind of fell off?
Fell off. I mean,
Okay.
the legs fell off right about the knees. Okay. This is the real creepy part. The torso itself, I went to lift it up once. I put it on a trash bag.
Mhm.
Wrapped it up, took a blanket, lifted it up to where the sub pump was. I went upstairs, opened up the car door,
Mhm.
back hatch, and as I'm lifting up the torso part, it hits my keys and the car alarm is going off.
Now, are you doing this all at night?
Actually, I did this during the day.
Okay.
When I was first cleaning the basement, I did that at night. When I took out the skids and everything, I did that at
Mhm.
night. The moving of the body, I did that during the day.
Okay. Was that because Mom was at work? Were you doing this all when Mom wasn't at home?
She was in Albany.
Okay. When did she go to Albany?
Wait a minute. Was she in Albany? All I know is she wasn't.
She wasn't at work, she was out of town? Okay.
I brought Adam over. Yeah, I wrapped him up,
Mhm.
lifted him up, put him in the car, and I remember my car alarm goes off, and of course I got his legs and his arms in there first, then the
Mhm.
torso goes off. One of my neighbors came out, I shut the door,
Mhm.
and, they were like, "Hey, was that your car alarm?" I go, "Yeah." I hit the button by mistake. I thought when I was carrying him down the ramp that he was gonna flip out of me.
Mhm.
But he didn't. I made it to the car. Then picked up Tristan from the babysitters. I took that Tuesday off because the babysitter could not watch him on Tuesdays.
Okay.
So I figure, what the hell? I'll take Tristan. I packed up some stuff. We spent the night at my mom's house. I got Tristan out of the car. He walks around. I take Adam to the woods.
So you're driving around with Tristan, Adam in the back of the car.
Yeah, and he stunk.
Did Tristan say anything about it smelling so bad?
No, he asked, "Why is the windows down?" I go, "Mommy's trying to air out the car."
And now this was about 6 weeks after you shoved him downstairs.
Correct.
The house smell?
Only the basement.
Does anybody...
And I've had people in the house, I like to burn candles. So they didn't really smell anything out of the ordinary.
So Tristan never wandered down into the basement or anything?
No. I try to keep people out of the basement.
So Tristan's around the house playing and you start moving the body to the woods?
He's at my mother's house, and he's playing outside. He likes to throw rocks in their mud puddle. So, at that point, Tristan's doing that. I moved the body to the woods. He did follow me briefly, and I was like, "Oh, it's okay, you can walk with Mommy," but, I made sure he was far enough away, so this way he really didn't see what I was doing.
So did you have it all in one bag?
No.
Okay.
3 bags.
3 bags? Garbage bags?
3 garbage bags wrapped up in 3 different blankets.
What color garbage bag?
Clear.
Clear?
One was a pink blanket, one was a white blanket, and one was a tannish color blanket. I left him in the woods for a period of time. The week of Labor Day, I started tearing down my back ramp for firewood. I used that to start the fire.
Okay.
I made big enough padding. I took all of Adam's clothes, I put it there, got it to a section where I could bring in all the parts. Tristan just started school. I had Mom was working that week. She was supposed to have that week off, but she was working.
Okay.
So I still took that week off because that was the week of Tristan's birthday. I got it all ready, got it ready for a bonfire, waited a few days, and I had a bonfire.
Okay. Who was at that? Just you, or?
No,
Okay.
because it rained in 2 days. I
Mhm.
wanted to do it on a Saturday. My mom went away. She had a dead cat in her basement.
Okay.
She could not find it. So Mark and I went over to the house. We found it. Mark said, we gotta get rid of this quickly. And I said, let's have that bonfire. He did not know that Adam's body was there.
Okay.
So...
And it was convenient that the cat was there, so if anything smelled out of the ordinary, you could say, well, it's a cat.
Yeah.
So you had the body all set up inside the bonfire for a few days before you actually burned it?
Yes.
Okay. And was it still in the plastic bags?
Yep.
The blankets?
Oh, I wasn't gonna open it up.
Okay.
The detectives know they can charge Rose with second-degree murder because she admitted to intentionally pushing her husband down the stairs. But the question is, can they charge her with first-degree instead? This means they need to get Rose to admit that she planned on killing her husband.
Sounds like you thought it through pretty well what to do with them.
After I had them, after the fact, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Had you ever had the thought before, if something ever happened to him like this, of how to get rid of him?
no.
Because there's a reason I'm asking. You know, we've talked to hundreds of people.
I mean,
And the thing that I kept hearing over and over from a few different people was at Louis' funeral, you made a remark to Adam that if you ever killed him, they'd never find his body.
I never made that remark.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, because that's one of the things that I've heard from a couple of different sources. I don't know if it was something that somebody made in jest, if you said something to him and it was a joke. Because either way, you watch that, there's that one movie trailer on TV now, you know, the husband asking the wife, have you ever thought of killing me? Well, how'd you do it? Wood chipper. You know, if it's a joke, it's one thing, but...
Okay. The only reason why I went to the burning was I had his body. I was getting really pissed off with Sylvia, but I did not want it to be found.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was found, chances are I would get nailed for murder.
Mm-hmm.
So because I did think about driving, I just thought about just driving and dumping the body somewhere. But how long can I drive with the body before I actually got pulled over by a cop or somebody spotted me? I thought about, okay, I drive down this area. Where's a good wooded area? When I was thinking about it, okay, do I have time to get the body out of the car and get it to this one spot?
Mm-hmm. Were you thinking about one spot in particular, or
No, it was
just thinking of a random spot? Driving down the road and saying it's going to be there.
But at the same time, I didn't realize I was going to have 3 separate bags. I thought, once he was a skeleton, I could just lift him up.
Sure.
But it wasn't as...
That's going to take time for that to happen. Sure. That takes time.
So what made you think to burn him? And where'd you...
Because he always wanted to be cremated. That's the one thing he wanted, was to be cremated. He didn't want a sappy funeral. He didn't want anybody to play those sad songs. He just wanted to be cremated and pretty much to have it a blast.
Okay, so what happened when the fire eventually went out?
Well, we thought the fire died down enough, and I thought I covered it with ashes enough. So we left. The following day, Mom comes to work saying that you left the fire at the house. So that day, after work, I went to her house, and so before anybody could see it, I took the shovel and I scooped them into the trash can. My mom came over and said, "What are you doing? The fire's already out." I said, "I just want to make sure that everything's out, just to make sure that, just to take care of stuff." Because there was also some nails from the wood. I go, "See, there's nails. I don't want you to hit it with your lawnmower and send it flying somewhere."
What were the biggest pieces of bones you had to scoop out that are going to be in that garbage can?
Biggest pieces. I know there were some ribs. There was mainly the hip area, where the part of the leg. I know there's another leg bone. Those are the biggest pieces.
What about his skull? I mean, that's one of the hardest bones to disintegrate. Where did that go?
When I was in the fire, it was visible. So before Mark could turn his head to see it, I took the shovel and smashed it.
With Rose's shocking confession out of the way, the detectives spend the next 20 minutes solidifying the fact that Rose intentionally pushed her husband down the stairs. Eventually, Rose admits again that yes, she meant to push him because she was worried he would take their son and go on the run.
Honestly think I pushed him down. Whether that was not the attempt when we first started the fight.
Well, no.
But it happened. I didn't want him to run off with Tristan.
Well, you were trying to help your son.
I remember coming home from leaving work early Saturday because I tried to call Adam. He would not answer his phone. I left work early because he didn't answer his phone. Went up to the house, opened up the door. What does he do? He pops off the couch saying, "Oh, we've been here the whole time watching TV." It's like, why didn't you answer your fucking phone?
He did a lot of things in your relationship to make you very angry with him. I can't imagine that spending the majority of his time either on unemployment or not working at all, and plus the financial bind that he had you in, it's pretty easy to understand why you'd be angry with this guy. And the final straw is putting Tristan in the middle of this and recording him.
And you know what? I would have been happy if you just, honestly, I think I would have been happy if you just walked out that door.
Would he have ever just left, or would he have tried to take you to the cleaners?
He would have tried to take me to the cleaners. I'm pretty sure of you.
So you know the only way that you free of him would be to kill him? I mean,
really?
You did it at that moment.
At that moment, yes.
Well, at that moment, all the anger that built up over the course of 11 years, you finally saw that opportunity that you could put an end to this once and for all and have this guy out of your life.
There's a lot of resentment there. A lot of resentment. You're still resentful.
It's completely understandable.
I mean, do you wish you didn't do it?
I do wish I didn't do it because I didn't want to go through this hell again. I wouldn't wish this upon anybody.
Okay. But you wish you didn't do it because now you're going through this, but you're okay that he's still gone.
I am sorry about the outcome. I didn't mean for the outcome, and I am sorry for it. I do wish that he was out of my life, but I don't know how I could have really achieved it.
He would have never been out of your life. I mean, if you two divorce, he's never out of your life. Even if you go through the DNA testing and Tristan's not ours. You've been working at Crosman's 10 years?
Correct.
man, 10 years usually for, as far as we're concerned, in our line of work, 10 years is that magic number. If you've been married for more than 10 years, if your rules or your 401ks work like ours do, he's going to get half. It's a pretty big chunk of change for him doing nothing but causing you grief in your life. He would have had a pretty damn good payday. He would have probably walked away with the car that you bought him. And even if the house wasn't in his name, did you buy it when you were married?
Yeah.
It's marital property. He would have come after you for a portion of that. You would have either had to buy him out for what was in it, and I'm sure you already know this, because I'm sure you've probably, the whole reason for not divorcing him.
I thought for having two properties, he couldn't go after the one.
Did you own both of them together?
The one was in my name. The other one was in both of our names.
But the house, the Mount Road house, was purchased after you were married.
They were both purchased after we were married.
Okay. Well, then they're both marital property.
By the way, you knew that if you divorced, he's getting away with some financial gain that belongs to you for working hard for the last 10 years.
Oh, hell, he could have had the trailer.
Yeah, but the 401ks would hang up. You might have had to pay him alimony.
Because if you
didn't work.
If you didn't know all this, you would have divorced him a while ago, right?
Correct.
So.
Definitely would have divorced him before I had trust him, so this way he would have been brought into this.
Well, money is the reason why a lot of people stay married when they shouldn't be.
Mine was to keep my secret.
In the end, Rose would be charged and convicted of second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and endangering a child. She would be sentenced to 23 years to life in prison. Not once during her trial or after she was sentenced did she apologize to Adam's family for taking his life.
Adam might never have been brought home if it wasn't for everybody pulling together.
What do you have to say about the comments that Rose made in court today?
It sickens me, to be honest with you, to go through memories of my brother. We know he was a good person. She doesn't have to sit there and reiterate it to us. Fact of the matter is she wants to sit there and say he was a good person. Well, why'd you kill him? I mean, it makes no sense to me.
Were you pleased with the sentence?
Yes, she got what she deserved.
Have you or the family seen or heard any remorse from Rose during any of this?
Nope, none. Not a single ounce. My personal feelings, I have no doubt it was planned. I think she planned it.
I'm generally pleased with the sentencing. To be perfectly honest, I would have liked to have seen the maximum sentence, but what the Judge Coker gave her was pretty close to the max, so I have no quarrels with that. Every case is unique, and this case certainly had a lot of unique aspects to it, particularly including how long the body was hidden by the defendant, and then what she did to ultimately destroy the body and try to cover her tracks on this thing. To me, I mean, the crime, the homicide, the murder itself is awful, and it's heinous, and it deserves everything that the judge gave her. But to put the family of Adam Chase through what she did for 6 solid months after that just makes it that much worse. So there really is a lot of depravity involved.
Her statements to the court, did you understand perhaps where they were coming from, if at all?
Not in the slightest. I thought that was one of the most bizarre things I've ever heard a defendant say to a judge at sentencing. It's remarkable for the fact that there was certainly no apology in there, certainly no acknowledgement of what she has done to this family.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case, so please share them in the comments below. Also, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the new content coming to this channel.